Okay, hello everyone, and a warm welcome to the first edition of Direction Live Online by Esri Malaysia. My name is Nabila Husna, and I am your host for today's session. All right, so for today's presenter is Wan Muhammad Nazmin. My colleague, he's a solution consultant at Esri Malaysia, focused on the national security and public work sector. So without any further ado, I shall pass the presentation to Nazmin. So over to you, Nazmin.
Okay, thank you, Nabila, for the introduction, and thank you, all of you, for having your time to attend for this study session. So for today's webinars, it is about the dynamic data analysis with ArcGIS Insight, which have very powerful and intuitive capabilities to combine your location analytics with open data science and also the business intelligence workflows in order to enable analysts of all levels to easily analyze the data and also to unlock new insights and share results across your organization. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, ArcGIS Insight is a self-service location analytics that brings location and business data together. It brings GIS to the very day analysts, and instead of forcing them to come to GIS, ArcGIS Insight is very intuitive, interactive, and dynamic. ArcGIS Insights allows analysts of all skills levels to scrutinize every aspect of their data: temporal, qualitative, quantitative, as well as the spatial data. So whether you are a casual Excel user, advanced data scientist, or somewhere in the middle, you can leverage insights and the value of the spatial component within your analysis, and you can uncover new insights through the power of location. ArcGIS Insight will help you to automatically document every step of your analysis workflows, so you and others can have the updated reports and solve similar problems with alternative datasets. Take analysis results and use them in ArcGIS products or even the third-party system. This can revolutionize your organization with analysis and lets the data tell the stories. Okay, Insight is the data analytics that powered by locations. Okay, this location aspect is very fundamental and obvious to you within your GIS domain. But there are countless co-workers extremely close to us every day that have not yet been exposed to the power of location. Insight's goal is to change all this, and to do so by delivering capabilities in terms of the spatial analysis, statistical analysis, predictive, exploratory, as well as the link or graph analysis. If Insights doesn't have the specific out-of-the-box tool you need, you can use the Python or R integration to perform that specific operation or do other things like data cleanup. ArcGIS Insight also allowing analysts to bring together your enterprise GIS data with enterprise business data in the same place. It is something that no one else can do. So the other analytical package that don't treat the spatial data elements as a first-class citizen like we do. So we have these great analysis capacities and ability to directly connect to both an enterprise GIS and your enterprise business data. The only missing component here is the people. Okay, we have designed the insight so we can bring the spatial analytics to everybody, including the GIS analyst. Okay, no longer that you are a GIS analyst to do the advanced spatial capabilities, but now everybody can become an analyst or even the data scientist to explore your data. Okay, in terms of the option of deployment of the ArcGIS Insights, okay, it is can be deployed in your ArcGIS Online or even in your managed infrastructure with ArcGIS Enterprise. And also you can deploy ArcGIS Insights in natively as a desktop application on Windows or in your Mac. These three deployment options can also work together as a system and are not being isolated. Okay, in ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise environment, there are a few numbers of user levels. We call it as a user type. Okay, that consists of storytellers, viewers, editors, field workers, creator, as well as the GIS professional. And each of these user have different functions on the data management, different specific capabilities, as well as different type of application that user can access. So for the ArcGIS Insights, this can be accessed by having the add-on additional license on top of your existing deployment, which can be managed by the creator and also the GIS professional user type. And the second option of the licensing deployment of the ArcGIS Insights is by having we call it one of the latest user type in ArcGIS. We call it the Insight user type. Okay, this is a specifically user type that can be used to utilize the ArcGIS Insight. Okay, and this can be used by the various type of analysts in different level in the organizations, including the non-GIS. Okay, this user type have a very specific accessibility and also capability just for the ArcGIS Insight itself. Okay, insights allow you to leverage your organization traditional data in terms of tabular format as well as your organization GIS content. And these have the capabilities to use these two type of data together to perform the analysis. That's how the powerful of capabilities of GIS Insights. Okay, here we have four level of core capabilities that Insights offer. The first one is the data access and preparation. Okay, once your data have been connected, otherwise it is in a tabular format or in a spatial, you can make your data more usable by filtering it down, calculate new values, joining data sets, and it would actually need to be complete with a geo-enablement component, which is such as geocoding addresses, or as well as you can joining into the boundaries. So the second one is the exploratory analysis. This is all about the visualizing your data in charts, tables, or in maps. The third one is the statistical and spatial analysis. Okay, this is using the analytics techniques to answer the question that you have directly identified already, such as how my data being distributed, how things are related, as well as what's nearby my location, and how's the thing change. And the fourth capabilities is the reporting and collaboration. It is all about the sharing your analysis models that serve as a documentation and a way to rerun the analysis. Each of these steps can also be enhanced with scripting, such as the Python and R that are both available to you within an integrated environment. Okay, first I will explain to you one by one. The first one is the data access and preparation. Okay, this is the stage where you connect your data and clean up a bit. Okay, this will involve the certain process like filters, hide fields, joining, as well as enable it with spatial components such as the location information. This early process is very important because to make sure that only information that are specific important to you can be visualized and involved in the analysis. And next, when you open the fresh new insight workbook, and the first thing you want to do is to connect your data. When connecting to your content, it can be spatial data or non-spatial data, such as the database, shape files, Excels, or even uh, the CSV files. And now you can have the access on your OneDrive and also the SharePoint. It also includes the data in your ArcGIS Online or Enterprise, as well as in the relational database. And normally, ArcGIS Insights support most common relational database, and they can optionally live in the cloud. Okay, Esri have always working towards adding new data connectors, and if Insights doesn't have the connectors that you need, you can pull that data using Python or R. Okay, once you have added that data, Insight interprets and model it for you as a shape, a numeric, ratio, categorical, or even the data fields. With the date fields, or even it can be breakdowns that one field into individual usable subcomponents. Okay, this we call it semantic modeling, is what Insights uses to make the intelligence components. You may have heard of the smart mapping. Well, this is also the smart charting inside the ArcGIS Insight. Okay, the location can be enabled by using any type of the spatial descriptor within your tabular data. For example, like you can take your postcode field, the country fields, or your asset ID, the territory ID, or anything else that can serve as the location descriptor and can use in the location enablement. And the location field of your data within Insight can even add multiple shape files to the same dataset, such as the coordinates, geocoding address, and also the um, not just limited to point data, but it also have the boundary and line data as well. This can be have custom geometries or well known as the boundary data that Insights comes with together. Okay, once you have a location enabled in your data, enrichment can add new meaningful variables to it. The process basically overlays your data on top of the enrichment data and track on these new variables. This includes um, some additional data such as the environmental, the demographic, as well as the business attributes like the monthly income, the household spending, as well as the populations, and many more. Okay, the next one is the exploratory analysis. It is all about looking at your data closely, testing and experimenting with it, and also discovering all the data inside the documents. Okay, during this process, a goal is to define a specific questions that you can then analyze further. This exploratory analysis this is how you can explore your data in terms of the various map visualizations, in terms of tables, attributes, various type of charts, the temporal exploratory analysis by using your time and dates data. And it is very interactive in order to filter all the related information within your application. So when it comes to interactivity, there are basically two types. Okay, by default, the we call it cards will honor the selection between each other. So when a chart selection is made, so it will affect the other cards such as the chartings, the tables. Okay, So the selections on the chart will filter on the maps, and then similarly selection on the map will filter the data within the charts as well. Okay, another way to explore your data is by simply overlaying map layers. Okay, creating we call it a map sandwich, which all these layers you could, for example, have your location enablement business data on top, have another organization layer that can be managed and maintained by your organization, the living atlas or the public content, and finally under it is the base map that could be your imagery, the street map. Okay, next I will show you a demo. So to show to you that how you can add your data, uh, I mean your tabular data, and to perform the exploratory analysis. And basically for this demo, I will explore to you the sample data that consists of the commercial permits in Excel format, and also how you can find where the permits are being issued and determine the trend inside the data. Okay, basically this is the interface of your insights, and the first step that we need to do is by adding the new workbook uh, in the ArcGIS Insights. Okay, and from here, I will add my Excel data, which is the commercial data in form of the Excel document. Okay, next, I will adding the uh, data into the, we call it cards, after I renaming all these components. Okay, next, I want to add the location information inside the ArcGIS Insight, because in my documents, I already have the coordinates information in terms of latitude and longitude information. So I just click run, and then the coordinates will appear, and I just drag and drop into the map components, and you can see that the point features will automatically appear into the map section. Okay, next, I want to add, sorry. Okay, next I want to add the another layers. Sorry about the technical glitch. Okay, after I adding the map components, so I want to add another layers such as the code, which is identify the list of the permits inside the tables. Okay, and then I want to identify the status of the permits by adding the information into the uh, three map charts, or even I can change the type of charts into a various type of charts, such as the uh, donut charts. Okay, and you can see that how you can transform your data into various type of information. So next, I want to identify the point location based on status by adding the status into my map. You can see that all the point features are being symbolized based on the status. Okay, next I will continue on the third core capabilities, which is the statistical and spatial analysis, which is you can use the various analytic techniques to answer the question that you have previously identified. Okay, for example, how your data being distributed, how your data being related, okay, how the data can make a change into your organization. Okay, most analysis within the insight is exposed through we call it the action button. Okay, by having activate the action button at the bottom right corner of the cards, it exposes all the analysis options um, on your ArcGIS Insights. Okay, currently we actually have three new spatial analysis tools, which is the k-mean clusters, the calculate densities ratio, as well as the spatial mean. Okay, for the chart cards, the analysis options are exposed in the form of questions that you are able to answer, and each question have the uh, automatically identify all the analysis that you can use. Okay, for example, for the distributions, for the relationship, okay, for the location analytics, as well as to see how your data are being changed. Okay, in terms of the advanced analytics, you can transform your complex data sets into manageable information by visualization of your data. You can use various techniques to quickly uncover the patterns, the trends, the correlation, as well as the relationship of your data. You can use the advanced analytics such as spatial statistics or even link analysis, and also you can custom your modeling by using Python or R. Okay, next I will show you the temporal analysis, how you can use your date data into the ArcGIS Insight by adding the year data into the bar chart. Okay, as simple as just a drag and drop, you can see how your data being distributed, and by sorting it, you can see that which month have the highest or have the lowest permits. And then um, I want to have the um, link chart analysis by adding the week into the same data. You can see that the distribution of every single day of the permits, as well as I can add the same data into the link analysis. You can see the distribution of the analysis. Okay, you can see that there is a bit of a spike in the 2011. So I want to understand that which permits type have contribute for this spike. And then I will group this data by the type of the permits. Okay, it is automatically generated into your chart. You can see that there is a multi-family dwelling permits that's caused the higher spike in this particular year. Okay, and the fourth capabilities is the reporting and collaboration. Okay, it is all about the sharing your analysis and also your models that serve as a documentation and a way to rerun the analysis by your analysts or other staff. It is also about to telling your stories with the meaning and context of your data to others. Okay, this can be done in a couple of different ways. The first is by sharing an interactive reports with viewers. Okay, with this, you want to be ensure that your page is interpretable and also has the context that are going to share into a specific user, and also require a login to access it. And then you can share your models into your analysts, as well as you can share uh, your data that can be rerun into the system. Okay, basically when you drag and drop all your information or your data into the ArcGIS Insight, actually at the back end, ArcGIS Insight have automatically generate this kind of the models, and this model can be shared, also can be rerun with your another analysis. Apart from that, you can have to package all these, we call it a workbook package. So this allow you to package up the entire data, entire models inside your application that can be shared across your organization. And this Insight workbook can be import into the desktop or even in your ArcGIS Enterprise as well as ArcGIS Online. Okay, as a conclusion, you can see that how easy you can transform your Excel documents or even your feature layer or even your data in your database into a meaningful and intuitive visualizations. And by enrich with other data, you can have possibly a better insight to your data and unlock a million of information, which of course can give a big impact to your organization. Okay, for the resources, you may refer to the links that I have been prepared for this webinar. And also I include some links on how the organization have utilized ArcGIS Insight in various sectors in their organizations. So by having these slides, actually this is the end of my presentation. Thank you and pass over to you, Nabila.
Okay, thank you, Nazmin. So that was a very great overview of the ArcGIS Insight, and I am certain that everyone found it interesting as well. Okay, so we have had a couple of questions come through. So if you have been listening intently to Nazmin and you haven't had a chance to type out your questions, so there's still time. So you can do that in the question pane. Okay, we have one question coming from Mr. Faiz asking, what if my data doesn't contain location that can be mapped in the ArcGIS Insight? So over to you, Nazmin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Faiz. It is actually a great questions. Okay, actually, in Insights, it normally requires location description such as country name or street address or even your postal codes. If you do not have the location in your map, actually there is two ways in the ArcGIS Insight that you can map your data. Okay, the first one is the having the boundary layers available um, in various online or open data, or even you can access it in your in Esri Living Atlas, that we have a various type of the data that you can use as a reference to your locations, and others you can adding the data from other sources, okay, such as you can having the address that you can automatically geocode inside the ArcGIS Insight itself. I hope this answer your question, Mr. Faiz.
Okay, thank you, Nazmin. So we have next question coming from Miss Asima, asking that other than data that you have shown in the demo, which type of the other data can be used in Insight? Over to you, Nazmin.
Okay, from my demo, you can see that I have using a simple data, which is the Excel document, to show you that even uh, a simple document such as Excel you can transform into a very intuitive and you can have a multiple insight of your data into map visualization, into the analytics, as well as into the various of chartings. So to answering your question, apart the data that I have shown in the demo, you can also using your hosted feature layer data that available in your organization enterprise. Okay, you can uh, adding the other data such as inside the living atlas, okay, or even you can add on the boundary data, okay, such as the polygons or the line features into the ArcGIS Insights. Yeah, I hope I'm answering your question, Miss Azima.
All right. Thank you, Nazmin. Let's see if we have another question coming from Mr. Lim. Okay, currently my data are stored in a PostgreSQL. So is it possible to import and analyze it in ArcGIS Insight? Over to you, Nazmin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lim. Yes, I have mentioned from my early presentation that you can connect your data in various sources. Okay, and of course, the PostgreSQL is one of the uh, database that you can explore your data. Okay, and apart from the PostgreSQL, it is also you can have the capabilities to explore your data inside the SQL Server, inside your Oracle, inside your SAP HANA, or even you can connect directly into the Google BigQuery and also the Snowflake database uh, into the ArcGIS Insights. And you can also use the additional configuration to add the connectors to your database, not just for the PostgreSQL and also for the other database. I hope I'm answering your question, Ms. Lim.
All right. That's a great answer from Nazmin. And we have, I think this is the last question coming from Ms. Praha asking, can I use ArcGIS Insight offline? Over to you, Nazmin.
Okay, great question. Okay, for the ArcGIS Insight deployment that I have explained just now is that you can deploy in three type of environment, which is in your ArcGIS Online, in your ArcGIS Enterprise, and also the third one is the Insight Desktop. Okay, of course, you need to have the ArcGIS for desktop installed into your workstation in order to establish a license connection within your enterprise or your ArcGIS online organization through the name user, and then after that, the Insight license can will work offline uh, in your Insight desktop. And to answer your question, yes, it is work offline, um, but you need to use the Insight for desktop. I hope I'm answering your question.
All right. So I think that's all the time that we have today. So if we have not answered your question, Nazmin will surely reach out to you with the response. Okay. So we really love your feedback. So take the time to fill out brief a survey that you will see a pop-up at the end of the session. So further feedback or question can be sent directly to events@esrimalaysia.com.my. And finally, if you would like to rewatch this webinar or share with your colleague, the recording will be shortly available on Esri Malaysia event page. Okay, so thank you, Nazmin, and thanks everyone for joining us. And we will see you for the next Direction Live Online. Bye bye.
Thank you.